Oi, oi. Well, it's taken me a very long time to get this together. It's now Sunday, it's day 14, and I arrived on Thursday, and it doesn't feel like 4 days. It feels like, I don't know, 10 days, but in a good way, because it's been so packed with different things, just exploring stuff. And also intensity, I guess. Even though this can be a very relaxing place, I guess I was really excited to be here. So what have we got? We've got fire show, that happened twice. Food, the price of food, we're going to go through that. Booze, the viewpoints that you climb up to, cats and some dogs. Stuff about cats. Like that musical that Andrew Lloyd Webber did that's about cats. What's it called? Cats. Boat hire. You can hire a long-tail boat. Snorkeling and bioluminescent plankton. So these are little sort of cues for me. So when I got here, first of all, on the Thursday night, I met people straight away, you know. You turn to one person, and now these two introverted Americans trying to be friendly, but they just had a wall. And that's how it is in life, never be offended. People aren't ready to receive it, you just move on, don't you? So I met Shan, who's from Singapore, and her partner, Achin, who also lives in Singapore. But he's originally from India, but of Persian descent and Zoroastrian. Fire worshippers there, aren't they? Yeah, and we had, as many of the conversations are, pretty deep conversations about life, the universe and everything, but also the whole range, you know. We laughed at ourselves because ultimately we concluded that we've got to not take life seriously, have we? The people that I met as well. The food, you can get things decent enough for as little as 60 baht, which is about £1.20. But then what you go and do, don't you? You get carried away, you go to a fire show, and you spend 450 baht on a bucket of pina colada. A bucket? What? How much do you want? Pint? Nah, a bucket, please. Is that a proper measurement these days? Like a cup? A bucket? I don't know. At least they haven't ordered a bucket of chicken. I guess they're for sharing, though, aren't they? I don't know. Anyway, right. So, yeah. So the booze isn't that much cheaper in the bars here than in the UK generally. But up north, apparently, it is a lot cheaper. That's Chiang Mai and Pai. Just a reminder, I am still in Phi Phi. Alright? And the viewpoints, I walked the wrong direction for a viewpoint, and you'll see this. And I these steep roads, these narrow paths, a few shanty kind of buildings, lots of dead millipedes, and you know, and just thick jungle, and it's all dense. I was going to the viewpoint before sunset, and I only just made it. I ended up getting there after about 50 minutes and realised that the way to this viewpoint is about 20 minutes walk up steps right next to where my hotel was. But I did meet two people there who did exactly the same thing, and we had a bloody good workout actually. That was Fabian from northern Germany and Michelle from German Swiss. And what was really interesting is that she spoke her German to Fabian. He couldn't understand a bloody word. Not many people are aware of that. Right. Boat hire. We hired a boat. Now I was going to hire a pirate boat. No, get a place on it, get a ticket, not the whole thing. I wasn't going to commandeer it. But that wasn't running, and there was very little communication about that. I sent a message to their Facebook page, and I spoke to the person in person eventually, And he said he's locked out of his Facebook page and he doesn't know why. He can't answer questions, you can just see them, but you can't answer them. So anyway, and that would have been all snorkeling, paddleboarding, kayaking. You could buy booze there and so on. Don't know how responsible that is, getting pissed and jumping in the water. But anyway, we did hire a long-tail boat, and that was 3,500 baht between 4 people. So, you know, that was ultimately about £15 each, and that was for 7 hours. I mean, we saw monkeys, we fed monkeys. You're not supposed to. They get a bit carried away. On the beach, on a remote beach, we saw this beautiful cave, which is a bit like a cathedral. And then we snorkeled quite a few different places and fed the tropical fish. I wish I could have filmed them for you, but I don't have a GoPro. But yeah, you fed them, they eat out your hands, lots of them, and it's so beautiful. Yeah, and what else did we do? See, you know, there's bioluminescent plankton. So there we were, the 4 of us, swimming in the rain, snorkeling in the dark. It was perfectly warm, and you just had to wave your hand, and you can see little sparkly, glittery white plankton. It was just magical. So I'm having a bit of space today, really, to gather myself, figure out what I'm doing next. You know, I moved hotel just to try something else, and this one's all right, but the view looks like there's a whole bunch of empty septic tanks or something like that. It's big tanks outside and a lot of junk. This area, which is like the far reaches of the centre, really, basically loads of things look incredibly run down and dilapidated, but they weren't 2 years ago. It was packed. Life is slowly starting to come back here, and you know, in the middle of where it's all at, it does get busy. There is a party. And it is pretty wild, but you know, how often can you keep getting wild until you think, oh no, I want to relax now, I need rest, it's got a bit too far. But apparently tonight it's full moon, so there might be a full moon party here, but the main full moon party is in Koh Phangan, which is in the Gulf of Thailand, near Suratani. I may be going there on January, I'm not entirely sure. So, now I've done this, I have to edit all those messy videos and pictures that I took in the past 3 or 4 days. Okay, so wish me luck. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, the ding ding, it's up there, the bell. Thank you very much. Lots of love to you. Ka kun ka. 10 centimetres, that's a bit close. I think this is a lesson not to make assumptions about stray cats and stray dogs when you are abroad, because indeed there are some cultures, some countries, I believe Sri Lanka is one, where the cats or the dogs aren't treated too well. Dogs may have mange and they need lots of help, and they avoid them. But it varies a lot. I know some cultures when it's perfectly okay for a cat or a dog to be stray, in inverted commas, because of the reverence with which the locals treat them, and the kindness and the love that they give. I mean, look at this cat. It's not traumatised, so friendly, so trusting and so sweet. I mean, he's got so much into the strokes that I was giving him that he gave me one of those little bites, you know, those pretend bites. And he's healthy. He's not skinny, he's not malnourished. and he's really, really affectionate, and he lives such a happy life on this little island, and just day to day he gets all that he needs. Saying that, of course, to totally acknowledge that there is a real problem with stray dogs and cats in certain areas of the world being neglected, and they need help. Sometimes they get all the help they need from the locals, and they live happy, fulfilled lives. So this is the evening in Phi Phi, at some bar in Phi Phi that I found. I've been chatting to someone called Wang, who served me. She's certainly a lively one, and she tells me that there's a fire show here. Now, you'll love a fire show, don't we? Maybe we'll get some footage in a moment. Can you thank you very much. If you don't, yeah, we're not going to catch the plague. This is Wang, and she's lively and she's gorgeous. She tells me there's a fire show here later on. What time does it start?
10.
10 o'clock. Can I play with fire, please?
You can if you want.
Well, she's probably being sarcastic, either that or that there's not that much consideration towards health and safety. This fucking song gets everywhere. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. But there's joy, so why be a misery gut? And all the roads that you walk away, and all the lights. Look, I bought Ray-Bans, genuine Ray-Bans. They're only £4.50. But it's a very drizzly day today, rather overcast. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't mess about on the beach or anything like that, because it's still about 30 degrees. Drizzly, no point in protecting yourself from the rain. So this is beside a pier that you might have seen the other day. This is the main pier. But what I'm going to do now is demonstrate how close it is to the other side of the island. Remember, it's a sort of dumbbell shape. Up to Phi Phi viewpoint 1, and I followed my sat nav, and the man told me no, that way's blocked. So he pointed me somewhere where there would be a sign showing me the way, and I'm walking up a very steep hill, and I guess you might call some of this sort of jungle. Probably hear all the life, and it's about 30 minutes walk uphill, so I'm certainly getting my steps in. So this is it. In the jungle, on my own. There is sunset. Yeah, I'm going to be heading back in the dark. I'll survive. I've got a torch on this. Could have brought my head torch maybe, but that's being prepared for you, isn't it? But just take a moment, have a listen. That'll do, I think. That was quite a trek. I've been directed the wrong way, I'm absolutely sure of it. No way should I have gone through jungle like that and past all those dilapidated buildings and nobody else was there. Then you get here and there's a cafe a bit like at the top of Mount Snowdon, you know. Could I take the train up? The Viewpoint Cafe. So, just in time for sunset. Look, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just stunning? And down below you can see Phi Phi, the main town, main settlement, and you can see how narrow, just about, get the angle right here. That's right. You can see how narrow the one part is, and how it is kind of a dumbbell shape. Oh, thanks for coming up here with me. And there's some beautiful views for you. It's Fabian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fabian, yes. Well, it turns out I'm not the only one. There were signs telling us which way to go, and Fabian also experienced the same sorts of things as I did, with no street lights, some old houses that are kind of a bit dilapidated with chickens around them. But we had a workout, haven't we, Fabian?
Definitely.
It was just quite amazing. There's all of this up here, but the way down is all lit there. So obviously a lot of people know something that we don't. It's like a weird dream, isn't it? But we all have these feelings. Surely we do. When we're growing up, when we're in school, we think everyone else finds something really, really easy, and we think, how do they do that? But anyway, we've all got the imposter syndrome, and we've got to work out. So be high on the The concept of getting a bucket of something is pretty indulgent, isn't it? A bucket of pina colada. Pandan custard with young coconut sandwich. What's pandan? Young coconut sandwich. There's a lot of filtering, a lot of translation to do here, and contextualization. It's a bit too much to surmount at 3 in the morning. Hairy night last night, eh, mate? Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a good one, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
I came here 1.5 months ago. You came to where but 1.5 months ago? I was.
This is the monkey beach, and there's a tiny, tiny little baby monkey there. They're all looking at, especially that one, looking very anthropomorphic, with big balls, wanting some food.
Tiny it is.
So tiny. So I was going to go on a pirate boat, which included kayaking, snorkeling, paddleboarding, booze, food, all day, seeing the sunset, where you could take where you could go to see the monkeys at Monkey Beach. You can see all these beautiful beaches and bays, and also see bioluminescent algae, or is it plankton? I will see. But what's happened is that the two people I met at sunset yesterday, I've hired a longtail boat with them. We're doing pretty much all of the same stuff. So here, yeah, and this is Fabian, who was at the sunset, and Michelle's here as well. This is a cove. Beautiful cove where we've been taken to, right next to the monkeys. Monkeys aren't in here right now, but when we approached the beach, they're all standing there waiting, standing on their hind legs, and a couple of mothers with their tiny, tiny babies. So this is Nui Beach. I've come here with David, who's Australian, lives in Germany, Fabian, who's German from the north of Germany, and Michelle, who's from who's German Swiss. And apparently, when Michelle talks in her German to Fabian, he hasn't got a clue what she's saying. So we're at the other side of Phuket Island now. We've been snorkeling next to Bamboo Island and saw some beautiful fishes. They fed from my hand, from a big pineapple. It's a huge variety. One of the people I'm with saw a massive moray eel. They look like quite fierce creatures, but they're harmless really. They live in their little hole, don't they? They pop their heads out. So I'm going to do a bit of scuba diving again in a moment, even though I've had a bit of a beer, a bit of a stinger. Everyone else has gone back in. And yeah, so this beach, apparently you can access it, but it's quite a trek from the main town. So there's a huge amount to explore on Phi Phi Don. The best thing to do is to hire out one of these long-tail boats. They are for 7 or 8 hours. They're 3,500 baht, and that's something like let me see now, 20, 30, maybe £80. So that's quite a lot of money, but they'll take it everywhere that you go. And the point is, this can comfortably hold, very comfortably, probably 6 people. We've got 4 people on here, so 80 divided by 6, ain't bad at all, is it really? Yeah. So I'm gonna jump in, not now, I think, but in a moment, and see if we can snorkel my way to the beach and feed some fish.
Go somewhere. In the sun, yeah. Okay. Oh my god. There's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Show you how cheaply you can do breakfast if you just go to the stalls. In Phi Phi, it's actually slightly more expensive than in the far north of Thailand. But what you can get for just over £1.50 is all of this. Over here, this was 30 baht, which is about 80 pence. And these are jackfruit, and they're very popular in the UK, tinned or in burgers, processed in different ways, but the actual fruit is quite sweet. This is skinned and prepared to some extent, but it still has its stone in the middle. This is what the stone looks like. It's lovely, it's absolutely delicious. And here is something which is very popular, it's mango and sticky rice. And there's some crunchy bits you have on top, and this is coconut cream. And you just put it all together, stir it up, and it's absolutely delicious. Gives you carbohydrates, gives you fruit for the day, sugar, that kind of thing. Well, thanks for watching. I'm off to Ao Nang next, and then I'm probably going to spend a night near the Rastafari Cafe. Yes, don't you love it how sometimes things are so authentically Thai? Rastafari. Well, maybe there are quite a few Rastafari, I don't know. I mean, there was a chap who works by the pier, right? He's really conspicuous because he's got this big afro. And he is of Thai descent, this massive afro. And he wears tie-dye in Jamaican colours. And when I was sat next to him, a chap walked past, an American, and asked him if he could get him some weed. I had to put it in Google Translate for this chap, and I said, "You get that all the time?" And he went, yeah, he does. It's not surprising, is it really? He couldn't get him any weed, which is another thing actually about buying drugs in Thailand. I've had mixed signals. Not that obviously I wouldn't endorse it, and I don't do it myself. But because there are sort of mixed messages about it. And also the penalties, officially at least, can be incredibly high, and it depends on the whims of people as well. Yeah, just don't do it generally, just be very, very careful. Indeed, there are some horror stories, seriously, gotta be very careful. Anyway, yes, so this chap, by the way, this one with the big afro that gets asked for weed all the time. I asked him his name, and he said Lion King. I said, what? Lion King. Lion King. Yeah, Lion King. Lion King. Okay, right, yeah, Lion King. Surely that's it. Because apparently, somebody who works in Thailand, who teaches, he said to me that quite often the kids just choose their own nicknames, and there's quite often as random as that. So anyway, tomorrow at Ao Nang, possibly there, and then after that I'm going to Ao Luek Paradise. And Ao Luek has very special caves with prehistoric paintings in them. So I'll catch up soon, a couple of days at a time maybe. Thank you for listening.